This is WFO Radio.
Hey, good morning, everybody. WFO before noon. What is going on? I'll tell you what. It's Memorial Day weekend. We've got the Coca-Cola 600, and we're going to kind of go back into, my NASCAR roots on NASCAR radio many years ago. I got to speak with drivers all the time before getting drafted into the drag racing world, but super excited about our guest, Kyle Larson, going to be driving the Metrotech Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports this weekend. Great stuff. Let's just get right to it. Let's bring him on the show. I'll tell you about our sponsors in a little bit, but there he is, Kyle Larson. Good morning, Kyle. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited. I'm fired up, and I got a whole host of questions as you get ready for NASCAR's longest race, 600 miles, Memorial Day weekend. That's a long haul.
It is. It definitely is. It's a super long race. So just got to really not do anything too flashy. I feel like during the race is to not put yourself in a bad spot to get damaged or anything like that. So you just want to try and stay in the hunt all day long and all night long, and try and keep up the track conditions as it changes from daytime to nighttime. So tough race, a race for whatever reason I've never really done good at, but looking forward to getting there in some Hendrick Motorsports equipment and seeing if I can do a little bit better.
All right. I want to ask about the race. Obviously, that day to night transition is challenging, but could it possibly be more challenging than what you just went through a week ago at Circuit of the Americas? I was super excited to see Cup cars run that track. And then, of course, the wrinkle of the rain being thrown in, not just rain, but extreme rain. What was that experience like? You finished second, 3 second places in a row, so you're running well wherever you go. But I get stressed in normal rain, let alone racing at a high level of competition. So walk us through that.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I was excited for it though. I've never driven in the rain or raced in the rain, so it was a new experience for me and something I've always wanted to do. So it was cool that I got to experience that, and we were pretty fast. So definitely had the strategy to win. Had it gone green to the end, the 9 didn't have enough fuel, so he was going to have to pit, and we were going to get the lead and win the race. But the rain was picking up too heavy, and the conditions were getting too bad to finish. So just didn't work out. We got another second place finish, but it was wild. I mean, you couldn't see there on the restarts. You were basically 100% blind down the backstretch there. So some of those big wrecks are pretty wild, but thankfully we were able to somehow stay out of that mess and come away with a good finish.
The future of that style of racing, certainly going back to Circuit of the Americas, but should Cup be racing in the rain? Kevin Harvick said some harsh things, but then again, he was involved in an incident, right? The adrenaline going crazy. Scott Miller said that maybe Harvick's comments weren't representative of all drivers. It sounds like you'd like to go back, but the rain part of it in particular, I like it, but I want you to be safe. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, it was definitely, I think if the conditions could just be damp rather than raining, maybe it would be a little bit better. Because there was times when it was damp that it was okay. When I think it was right after the second big wreck, they went and kind of got the air titans out and the jet dryers and pushed some of that water off. And when we took the restart, we could see again, but it was still slick. So it's hard to say. I mean, we all think we're the smartest people in the world, but it's a difficult thing, especially Mother Nature, to predict. So maybe there's something different they could do to the cars to help keep the spray down rather than going up. We have the next gen car coming next year, so they have an opportunity to maybe try something, because I think we all enjoyed racing in the rain or in the wet, but it was just a little bit dangerous with not being able to see.
Absolutely. We've got our WFO universe out there weighing in, and just in to be honest, we are mostly drag racing people, but we do follow NASCAR, and we love the fact that you guys are on board, and the folks at Metro Tech are on board with your machine. That's kind of cool. Obviously, we know Mr. H, a dealership guy. These people are dealership people, and it's kind of cool. They have a product line for dealerships through detailing. It's a one race deal, but what I find to be interesting and cool for you is home race, Charlotte company, Mr. H, hometown. Tell me how that all came together.
Yeah, I think just with, Mr. H's relationships with them and like you said, through the dealerships. So I'm excited to have them on board this week. The car looks great, as you can see there. So yeah, it should be cool. Hopefully we can build a relationship that'll build us into some more races later on this year or next year. So we've been really good on the 1.5 mile track. So be nice to get them a win in their first race on our car. But yeah, looking forward to it and happy to have a new partner on board for this weekend's race. So like I said, excited about it and very thankful for them coming on board.
The 268 Cup wins for Petty Enterprises to have Chase tie that. You finished second, but nobody really cares about who tied it. They care about who break the record. And that's something that you could get this weekend for Hendrick Motorsports, an incredible milestone. The team is running at its, I think, best maybe ever, in that across the 4 drivers, any one of you have a shot to win almost equally. I don't know that has ever been the case. There's always been one car that was a little behind. Some even say, jinxed or cursed, etc. I don't know if I believe in that. But what would it mean to you to be the guy that broke that record?
Yeah, I think deep down, even though maybe some of us would say that we're not putting any more pressure on ourselves to get Mr. H that record-breaking win, I think deep down we all are putting some pressure on ourselves because we want to be that guy and that team to do it. So I know I want to. So definitely putting pressure on myself, but just a cool opportunity for all of us to be able to go out there and break a record for Mr. H, and just an amazing career he's already had to this point, and the list of drivers he's had is amazing too. So just thankful that I'm one of those guys that has been able to contribute to this record, with our win at Vegas this year, and now I'd like to be the guy to help put him in his own league. So I think all of us are blessed to be able to race for him, and yeah, it's been great.
Speak on that a little bit more, in that, we've all heard the legend of Rick Hendrick and his personality, his abilities, the fact, like, I hear crazy stories that he'll, make sure to know the spouse's name of every one of his employees, no matter what. Like, he's got this huge heart, all of that. You heard about it as a driver in the past. Now you're living the experience. Is it what you thought it was going to be to drive for Hendrick Motorsports? It's
even better than what I thought it was going to be heading into Hendrick Motorsports. Like you mentioned, Rick is just an amazing person, amazing owner, leader for his whole company. He's got thousands of employees. But at the race shop itself, because I'm around those people, and I've been with other race teams now in the past, I can't tell you a single person. I can't think of a single person that is unhappy to be working at Hendrick Motorsports. Where I feel like at other teams you always have people who are negative about certain things or even their boss. So you don't see that at Hendrick Motorsports, and I think that's why when you look around, there's been a lot of employees that have been there for a very long time, like a lot of people that have been there over 20 years. So I think that just in itself shows you how good of a leader that Mr. H is, and everybody loves working for him. So yeah, he's just an amazing person, and he gives you that energy to want to go in there every day and give your best, and there's a lot to be learned from him.
So let's focus in on the Coca-Cola 600, because I find it to be, it's part of Memorial Day weekend this weekend, such a big deal in our country, a solemn holiday, if you will, because we think about those who have, given their lives so that we can go to racetracks, right? And grill hot dogs and drink beer on the weekends. And it's amazing stuff. You've had a great career coming up through sprint cars, but I can't think, with exception of drag racing, maybe something that is more different than racing for 600 miles, right? More of a short attention span versus very prolonged. You got the day to night transition, 100 miles more than the longest race you ever run. Is it a challenge to keep your head in the game or stay motivated through a race like that, where probably the largest challenge is getting to that last 100 miles?
Yeah, definitely. It's such a long race that, honestly, at times it's hard to stay motivated because you feel like the end is forever away. So, just trying to keep yourself focused and motivated, to go out there and try and be up front the whole time, but also you work really hard to focus on how the track is transitioning from day to night, and what you need to think ahead of to help keep your car handling good. But yeah, it's just a long race, and it's a race that I never try to ask what lap we're on, because usually you get disappointed with the answer that you get, and makes the race feel even longer. So I've found the more I just don't even worry about what lap we're on, the quicker the race seems to be. So it's only 100 miles extra than a lot of the races we run, but it feels like a lot more.
Some of our audience out there wanting to know, favorite track. You're getting all these different styles of racing this year: NASCAR on dirt, NASCAR on road courses, NASCAR in the rain, all of this just variety, which I like and support, and I think it's been a great job. But what about when you choose Cup Series tracks? What's your favorite? Ask Monica.
Yeah, my favorite track in the Cup Series is definitely Bristol, concrete Bristol. It's just a intense racetrack, small, banked, fast. It almost feels like a 500 lap sprint car race, because you don't have any time to relax. You're running all out, all 500 laps. So it's just a fun race. And honestly, I'm a dirt guy, but I was really bummed when I heard they were going to do the dirt race at Bristol, because I knew it took away a fun race on concrete there. So, but yeah, I look forward to the night race later this year, and hopefully I can go there and win. I've led a ton of laps at Bristol, but have never gotten the Cup win there.
Well, I think you're going to break out. These back-to-back second places. What do they say about knocking at the door? Eventually, you're going to kick it in. It's going to be great. Speaking of dirt track guys, though, from what I understand, you were out at ZMAX Dragway. NHRA was there last week, and Tony Smoke has been putting up these YouTube videos of his going down the racetrack. You've driven sprint cars. You've driven stock cars. You're watching Tony go through the Top Fuel experience. I think they're going to drop a video tonight. I don't know. What do you think of that whole deal? And might we see you in the video that they're going to drop later on?
Yeah, I guess would that have been early last week. I was doing a production day for Metro Tech to get ready for this weekend's race, and our shop is really close to the drag strip, so I could hear cars, fuel, funny cars or top fuel cars making runs, and I had no idea that Tony was there practicing or testing. But I'm good friends with JR Todd, so I texted him and asked if he was out there making passes, because I was going to stop by when I was done just to go hang out and see. And he said he wasn't, but Tony was. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll go stop out there and check it out. So yeah, it was cool to see him and Leah kind of looking at data and videos and what types of stuff he could do differently, to get set up for the run. There's just way more that goes into drag racing than I've ever thought there was. I just assume you go up there and pull a couple levers and line up and haul ass down the track. And there's a lot more mentally that you have to be prepared for in a very short amount of time to prepare yourself for that run, and then doing that run, going that fast is pretty crazy to me. A little faster than I would probably want to go, but yeah, it's a really cool thing, and I think it just shows how badass Tony Stewart is, for him to have driven so many different types of race cars, and now a top fuel car is. I don't think there's really many other types of vehicles that are left for him to run. He's tried everything, at least tested everything. So just a really cool experience for him, I'm sure, and it's a reason why he's a lot of people's hero.
Absolutely. No, without a doubt. And he's doing such a great job watching these YouTube videos. Now, you mentioned that, like sprint cars, of course, and you've got stock cars. Memorial Day weekend, you think the Indy 500, that's something Tony had success at as well. My drag racing people on there, Caleb Cox, who works on Cruz Pedregon's team, is like, hey, how do we get you in a funny car? That kind of stuff. Everybody wants to draft racers into their style of racing. What other cars would you like to drive if the opportunity presented itself? Like the Indy double might be really tough nowadays. Obviously, you said you don't want to go 330 miles an hour. I don't know if the opportunity presented, not yet, but what's on your, list of things you'd like to try?
Yeah, I don't know. I for a long time, dirt late model was what I wanted to run. And last year I got to get in it, and I've fallen in love with it, and I've been really successful in that so far. So now beyond that, I don't know. I think I would love to try the Indy 500 someday, but it's not something that I'm like stressing about and really trying that hard to get a ride. Again, like those cars are really dangerous, and they fly through the air when they crash and stuff. And I know I race sprint cars and stuff and they flip, but I'm not going 230 miles an hour when I'm doing that. So trying to get brave enough to do something like that is difficult. But I would say that would probably be the next thing that I would want to try. I think it'd be Indy 500 to me is the biggest race in the world. So I want to at least say that I've raced in it, before my career is over. But I've driven, like Tony, I've driven a lot of cars. But an Indy car would probably be the next one that I would like to try.
That's neat. Before I let you go, one more question, because it's a good question. Justin is out there. How does it feel to drive the iconic number 5 with so much history, from Ricky to Terry Labonte to Mark Martin, and you're the next in a line of historic racers, and that, Mr. H, he's got so much connection to that number, and I think that's a good question to end off on, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. It's the 5 has a lot of history at Hendrick Motorsports. That was the original number, so definitely an honor to drive it. But even more so with it being a throwback. Most of our races with HendrickCars.com is a throwback to his late son Ricky. So it means a lot for him to have that trust in me to represent his son in that car. And I thought it was really cool when we won at Vegas earlier this year, and listening to Rick talk in the post media stuff. He said that watching me win in that car was probably one of the most special moments that he's had as a car owner in the Cup Series. So, I mean, when you think about that and think about the record that we're getting ready to break, hopefully soon for him, with being the winningest team in NASCAR, for that win at Vegas to be one of his favorite wins was really, really cool. So just an honor, and I look forward to hopefully having a long career at Hendrick Motorsports and in the 5 car. So I'd like to add to the history that's already there and win some championships with that number.
Well, you got a good shot this weekend to break this record, a record that many thought would never even be approached. And here you guys are tied with a shot to win. I wish you luck. Thank you for spending a little time with us this morning. Thanks to the folks at MetroTech for supporting your operation this weekend. They've got a great program going on. And, I hear from JR some of the exploits. I know you're going to Ohio. You're jumping on a plane, right? You're sprint car racing tonight. You don't quit.
Nope. I stay busy racing, so gonna go to Ohio here in a few hours and get a sprint car race in, and then fly back early in the morning to get some practice in at the Speedway here in Charlotte. So
practice.
Love racing.
Practice is back, right? I don't know if I like practice anymore.
Yeah, me either. I wish the schedule would stay just race only. I love it, and I think it suits my style.
I agree. And everybody, and it saves money. And there's 100 reasons why practice, no offense, guys, it's worthless. Let's just put them on the track. Kyle, thank you very much for going WFO with us. We really appreciate it. Hope to see you at a drag race again soon someday. Good luck this weekend, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. There he goes. Kyle Larson with us here on WFO Radio. Excellent work. Good morning, everybody. Now, I got to tell you about the people who make it possible. Like, for instance, Metro Tech were the ones who made this happen, metrotechauto.com. And if you have a dealership and if you're looking for what I gather is just like bulk auto detailing that can help you with your dealership and make a little money along the way. I love it. They've done a good job. They're based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they're on board with Kyle Larson, but also the people who support WFO Radio on a regular basis, like Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology. TotalSeal.com had Matt Hartford on earlier this week, went pro stock this past week at Houston and doing a great job. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Start your education at full speed. All you young people out there looking for a career in motorsports or in engine building, machining, they can get you started. Marvin Rodak, can you tell? I've been hitting the Rodaks hard this morning. 817-924-6821. The best coffee in the world, shipped roasted fresh per your order. And of course, Frank Hawley's drag racing school, the Dragster Adventure at frankhawley.com, where you can drive a dragster. And I see we had Daryl Gwynn out there. Good morning, Daryl. Good morning, everyone. Look at this. Let's see what everyone's got to say. Yeah, throw some comments in the comments section. Now that we had Kyle on, that was great. I get stressed. Right? Whenever one of these guys who's like, next level fame and superstardom is going to come on the show, just that the technical side of it, I see that some of our people on Twitch couldn't hear, but everybody else could hear. It was only the people on Twitch. So I don't know. Normally we don't even do the Twitch, but I figured, how do we not include our Twitch audience? Derek says, hey, Joe, how do you get these types of interviews? Do you reach out and request them, or do they reach out to you behind the scenes info? Yeah, this one was a personal relationship. And the folks at metrotechauto.com, who are based in Charlotte, North Carolina, we have some personal connections in common, and they're really trying to make this a big deal. The fact that they are sponsoring Kyle Larson for one race at the Coca-Cola 600. And I offered up the WFO universe. I opened up you guys and I said, listen, I think the WFO audience would be very open to hearing about Metro Tech and have Kyle Larson on the show. And I'd be happy to participate in the media blitz. And it worked out. And the folks at Hendrick Motorsports were great. And of course, the people at Metro Tech were great, and everybody who set it up behind the scenes. People don't realize now that I've been doing the WFO radio thing for over 10 years, but I spent 2004 to 2008 at NASCAR radio and XM satellite radio. And I was in Miami doing a NASCAR show for a long time. And really from the launch of the Cup race at Homestead Miami Speedway, through 2003, 2004, spearheaded the acceptance of NASCAR in Miami, which originally was a very tough slog. It was very challenging to get a very stick and ball oriented city to focus on NASCAR. So I had a lot of interaction then, and took that to XM satellite radio, where at night I worked on the nighttime show that was called Wide Open originally, where I got the nickname WFO Joe. And then NASCAR radio left XM to go to Sirius when there were two companies. We created XM Sports Nation. We created a show called Power Shift. That's where I connected with Alan Reinhart, me being a drag racer and all. Bob Varsha, Mike King, but always heavily involved in NASCAR. Our Ignition show is very NASCAR oriented as well. So I keep my toe in the water over there. It's just a matter of, I love my job at the National Hot Rod Association, and I love drag racing. And frankly, I think drag racing needs it. Drag racing has got so many great personalities. And last night I watched the Tony Stewart, Leah Pruitt, Tony Drives Top Fuel episodes 1 and 2 for the first time. I hadn't seen it. I mean, I've seen Leah since then, and I've seen Tony, and it's been like, yeah, how'd it go? But hadn't watched the production until last night, really in preparation for this interview, because I'm a binge watcher. I can't watch one thing at a time. I watched the first 2 episodes, and the 3rd episode drops tonight, so I'm excited about it. But watching the combination of these things that I'm passionate about, Tony Stewart, I don't know if he knows this, but I have burned him up about driving a Top Fuel car for 10 years maybe longer. Tony, you've driven everything except for a top fuel car. So for me, this is the culmination of years of annoyance because I have wanted to see this. And now I'm getting to see it. And the production value on Smoke's channel is incredible. And if you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. And a new episode drops tonight. So it's kind of cool. Let's see what else. Monica says, always fun to have crossovers of racing. Yeah, it's very old school. AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, Richard Petty, who drag raced, Mario, who did everything, AJ, who did everything for the most part. And now that these younger drivers, not that Tony is younger, but can do it, like, it's good for everybody. I think it's good for everybody. Mark says, great job getting Kyle Larson on the show. Great interview. Share it then. Share it. And of course, everybody should subscribe to WFO Radio. Good guy, great interview. Yeah, he was really good. I was getting a little concerned because, like, does he know it's a live stream? Does he know all this stuff? And the answer was yes. Making my deliveries a good way to start the day. I have no doubt that everybody was going to be up here and early. Maybe you need to have a NASCAR happy hour. You know, that was the original name of the show that I worked on. It was Happy Hour. I got hired at XM to take over the show Happy Hour. But then I like, hey, can we change the name of the show? And they said, yes, of course. We told you we'd be here, Joe. Yeah, I had my doubts. You guys have earned it. You guys have earned it. It's kind of cool. Jay says, great interview, great interview, great interview. Lauren Murphy, good luck in the Coke 600. Yeah, way to go, Lauren. Thank you. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? We'll see if the WFO bump is a real thing. We'll see if it's real that the people who come on WFO Radio or Attention in the Pits or any of the shows we do actually do get a cosmic bump. Good luck. Blake, sorry I didn't get to this, man. I'm sorry, Blake. I didn't get to this. And Blake's mom, who got him up early. Sorry, Blake's mom. I apologize. I didn't get to that. Young Money in the house. We love you, Kyle, says Mark. And love the fact that Daryl Gwynn is out there. DG, right? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That is a great audience and great thing. Now we need some IndyCar interviews with Graham Rahal. I think Graham would be a possibility. Have had Graham on our audio-only podcast for a long time. But it's been a long time since. Oh, yeah, the synapses are not firing at 100%, as you can imagine, people, right? My sleep clock has been totally destroyed over the years of overnight radio and the nighttime radio and the daytime radio. One thing we haven't done is 6 to 10 a.m. morning radio. It's now time for traffic, news, and weather together on what's top of the hour right now. Traffic is everywhere. Don't leave your house. Stay home. Now, you can't become part of the economy for that. All right, couple other things I want to show you guys. One of our Patreons, check out this. Kev, UK Kev from the UK. Thus, his name from now on will be UKev. UKev sent me this. Bang. Isn't that cool? Told the Patreons about this yesterday. Not only did UKev send me a cool little collectible from Santa Pod across the pond with a Union Jack on there, but look at this. I'll be drinking my Rodax coffee out of this Santa Pod Raceway coffee mug, showing that WFO Radio is truly international, right? Like, we are truly an international brand, and I'm super excited about that. All right, one more thing I want to talk about before we go, since I got you all woken up and ready for your day, Thursday, to get out there and attack, right? This is like our motivation show on Patreon, but the Indy 500 is this weekend, the greatest spectacle in racing. And it was great to hear Kyle Larson. Like, I don't have that my motorsport is better than your motorsport kind of thing. I love NHRA drag racing and, of course, NASCAR Cup and Formula One and IndyCar. During the year, we probably cover IndyCar less than the others, right? We've got race Sherpa, Derek Ross, who gives us a report on the Ignition show from the IndyCar races. He's been doing a great job. But this is the Indy 500. I was fortunate enough to cover the Indy 500 in person twice with XM, and then we launched WFO Radio pretty much at the Indy 500 in 2010, I believe it was. And it's the greatest spectacle in racing, regardless of who's running and what's going on, et cetera, and so on. I know there's going to be limited capacity with the pandemic, but increasing capacity with the pandemic, which is great, as is it's so great to see people going out and getting out to normal and outdoors, no masks, and returning to normalcy. We just need to hope the rest of the world can catch up to us. It's great to see the United States leading the world in this, right? Coming back strong. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And I think we're going to really celebrate the Indy 500 Memorial Day weekend, the start of summer. People are going to be out there. They're going to be having parties. They're going to be enjoying. They're going to be spending time with their friends and their family. They're going to be, eating hot dogs and drinking beer. Scott Dixon is on the pole. Colton Herta and Rinus VeeKay are the front row. And the pandemic world kind of just changed so many things for so many people. But that was a temporary change. And now we are back. And hopefully, everybody knows that I got vaccinated. And if you get vaccinated, that's up to you, right? Whether you choose it or not, that's your business. But my business is that I got it. So I can feel really great about the health of myself and my family. But we're going to have a lot of people in the crowd and the greatest spectacle in racing. And Kyle says he'd like to try it. And I'd like to see him try it because the heritage of the sprint car racer transitioning like AJ Foyt, Supertex, to the greatest spectacle in racing, the big track at in Indianapolis. That is something that I think is very important, and I like to see it. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Hendrick Motorsports. Thanks to Metro Tech. You can check them out, metrotechauto.com. If you have a car dealership or if you're looking to purchase a product in bulk, they've got a good deal going. And they're on board with Kyle Larson. I think it is tremendous. Let's see. What's Jay doing out there this weekend? He'll be at Irwindale in Southern California watching some drag racing tonight. Way to go, Jay. Wear your WFO gear. Mom says she forgives you for waking her up early. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you. Come on, Blake's got his WFO in there, right? And everybody's like, man, Castello's misfiring here early in the morning. Well, we got to choke the carburetor. I need a little more Rodex. And remember, this is just for display purposes only at the moment. But we're going to go load it up. Very fun. Good to hear Kyle racing in the rain at Circuit of the Americas. This guy has had 3 second-place finishes in a row. I should have asked him if I should put him on my fantasy team is really what I should have asked him. But that is fine. Big thanks to all you WFO listeners out there. That is it for the week. Alan Reinhart yesterday. It is in the archive. Remember, we are a podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts for the audio-only Ignition show, which you don't want to miss. It's oh my gosh, it's so entertaining. It's the most entertaining show in the world, according to some people. So you should really try it. Or just click on it. Listen for a while, right? Of course, Matt Hartford. So many people, it's kind of confusing, actually. So many people are like, oh, I have renewed respect for Matt Hartford. Why did you not have respect for him in the first place? Hartford's been around a long time. He's won 4 races already. Let's see what Stubo, Extra Rodex this morning. WFO bringing the energy. Deep and Hawk, love the podcast. Thank you so much, guys. All right, everybody. Memorial Day weekend. Solemn holiday, but we celebrate with fun and beer and consumption and a total enjoyment of the United States of America. Have fun out there, and we'll see you next week. WFO, thanks to Kyle Larson. Appreciate you.